Hello, and welcome back to Science Sleep Sounds. Today, we're going to explore the quiet world of forests, where every tree, root, and leaf is part of a living network, from the way trees share nutrients underground to how entire ecosystems communicate in silence. Let's drift into the hidden biology of the forest. In the quiet rhythm of nature, plants live by sensing the world around them. Though they have no eyes, no nerves, and no muscles, their awareness is profound. Light, gravity, and touch whisper to them, and they respond in graceful, patient ways. Each stem, each leaf, moves with purpose born not from haste, but from harmony with the earth's gentle cues. Plants dwell in stillness, yet every moment they are gathering information. They sense where the sun rises, how shadows shift, and how gravity tugs softly downward. Their bodies are tuned instruments of life, reading invisible patterns in the environment and transforming them into growth. Light is the first great guide. Every green leaf turns toward its brightness, following a silent instinct older than memory. This awareness of light is called phototropism. Deep within a stem, tiny molecules of light-sensitive pigment awaken when sunlight touches them. These molecules, called photoreceptors, perceive both brightness and color, allowing the plant to know not only that light is present, but what kind of light it is. When light falls unevenly on a plant, the shaded side grows slightly faster. Cells there elongate, slowly bending the stem toward the source of illumination. It is not a quick motion, but a quiet and deliberate reaching. Over hours, or even days, the plant reorients itself until it stands in balance with the sun. In the first light of morning, some flowers gently unfold, their petals responding to dawn's blue wavelengths. Others close at dusk, sensing the dimming red light that signals nightfall. These rhythms are guided by the plant's internal clock, its circadian rhythm, which keeps time with the turning earth. Even in total darkness, many plants continue to follow this inner schedule, proof of how deeply they are attuned to cycles of light and dark. Light not only directs movement, but also shapes form. Sunlight guides how leaves are arranged, how roots grow, how flowers bloom. In forests, tall trees stretch upward, competing quietly for the canopy. Beneath them, shade-tolerant plants have learned to thrive in dim green light, adjusting their pigments to capture what little energy filters down. There are plants that sense more than direction, they sense the very quality of light. They can distinguish between sunlight filtered through leaves and light reflected from open skies. Red and far-red wavelengths tell them whether they are in the shade of another plant. If shaded, some will grow taller and slender, seeking an opening in the forest roof. Others remain content, conserving energy and accepting the softened glow. In this way, light becomes not only a signal but a language. It tells plants about space, about time, and about the presence of their neighbors. Through it, they read the story of their surroundings and write their own slow, silent reply. Gravity is the second great force that plants sense. Even in darkness, when no light can guide them, they still know which way is up and which way is down. This ability is called gravitropism. Within their cells lie tiny grains of starch known as statoliths. These grains settle in response to gravity, gently pressing on the lower sides of the cell. That pressure tells the plant where down is. In stems, this signal causes cells on the lower side to elongate, bending the shoot upward, away from the pull of the earth. In roots, the opposite occurs. Cells on the upper side grow longer, directing the root downward into the soil. Together, these quiet movements keep the plant oriented, balanced, and grounded. Even a seed buried in darkness can sense its direction. As it awakens, the root tip turns toward the earth's center, while the first shoot curves skyward, seeking the light it has never yet seen. This dual movement, guided by gravity, ensures survival. Roots find water and minerals below, while leaves find sunlight above. In the deep ocean of soil, roots continue their steady descent, guided by the same invisible pull. Some adjust their angle to avoid obstacles or follow moisture. Others coil around stones, always aware of direction, even without a single nerve or sense organ. Their awareness is cellular, ancient, and precise. In the still air, another kind of sensitivity stirs. Plants can feel touch. This awareness is called thigmotropism. A vine brushing against a branch can tell that something is there. Its tendrils curl slowly around the support, coiling tighter as contact continues. The motion is subtle, unfolding over hours, yet it is a remarkable form of touch. Tiny sensory cells detect the pressure and trigger a wave of chemical signals that move through the plant's tissues. These signals guide the tendril's growth, tightening its spiral until it holds fast. The plant has not seen its support nor heard it, but it knows it is there. In dense forests or quiet gardens, climbing plants use touch to find their way upward. Some have stems so responsive that they can detect even the gentlest brushing of wind or insect wings. When disturbed, certain leaves fold inward, as in the mimosa plant, which momentarily closes its fronds when touched. Though this motion seems quick, it is powered not by nerves, but by the movement of water within cells, a silent hydraulic system that flows beneath the surface. Touch also protects. Roots, for example, will bend away from hard objects or dry soil, exploring softer ground. Their tips are covered by a delicate cap of cells that sense pressure and guide them through darkness. With every subtle shift, they map the unseen landscape beneath our feet. Each of these senses, light, gravity, touch, works together in harmony. They are threads of a larger awareness, a symphony of quiet responses. When wind bends a stem, gravity restores its balance. When shade falls, light calls the plant to turn. When an obstacle blocks the way, touch leads it to find a new path. The result is movement that appears effortless, guided not by will, but by the gentle logic of survival. Though they move slowly, plants are never still. Sap rises and falls with the day, leaves tilt toward warmth, then rest in the dark. Roots press outward, searching and sensing. Every cell listens to the world around it, responding in silence. Within the stem, chemical messengers carry these sensations from one part to another. Hormones like auxin and ethylene translate light and pressure into action. They move through tiny channels, coordinating the growth of roots and shoots, leaves and flowers. The process is patient, unfolding at the pace of sunlight and seasons. Even without a brain, the plant's communication is intricate. Signals travel through networks of cells that behave like a slow nervous system. Some responses ripple across leaves within minutes, others unfold over days. It is a form of awareness measured in stillness and time. When a breeze passes, a tree's leaves tremble. The movement strengthens its stem, reminding it to grow sturdier. Repeated touch makes plants more resilient, a gentle shaping through experience. Scientists call this thigmomorphogenesis, but it might also be called the memory of touch. Each interaction leaves a trace, a record written in the patterns of growth. In the constant exchange between plant and environment, nothing is rushed. The smallest stimulus is absorbed, processed, and answered through growth. This quiet dialogue continues across years, seasons, and centuries. In the darkness of night, when the air stills and the light fades, plants rest but remain aware. Their leaves may droop slightly, conserving moisture. Roots continue to move, guided by gravity and the pulse of water in the soil. Even in stillness, the sensing continues, unseen but unbroken. Across meadows and forests, deserts and wetlands, this silent awareness shapes the living earth. Each blade of grass, each towering tree reads the same messages, light, gravity, touch, and weaves them into life. Imagine a seed drifting down through air, settling into the soil. Within its shell, minute sensors already wait. When moisture reaches it, the seed begins to swell. In darkness, gravity guides its first movements. The root descends, the shoot ascends, both following signals too small to see but powerful enough to build a forest. As it breaks the surface, light meets its tender leaves. Photoreceptors awaken, and the seedling turns toward the sun. Wind brushes past, and touch strengthens its stem. Every sensation shapes its journey, not with haste, but with steady grace. Over time, roots form vast networks underground, intertwining with others. Through these hidden threads, information travels, nutrients, signals, even warnings. The language of plants extends beyond one body, flowing between many, connecting the living soil. Though silent, it is a conversation older than sound. Above, branches trace arcs through the air, following the sun's seasonal path. Each leaf orients itself to gather light, then rests when shadows lengthen. Even death and decay feed this rhythm, returning energy to the soil where roots will sense it again. In every motion there is patience. The plant does not rush to know, but simply responds. Its awareness is not like thought, but like listening, endless and calm. Light tells it when to grow, gravity tells it where to root, and touch reminds it how to adapt. The balance between these forces gives rise to all forms of green life. They do not fight the world around them, they move with it. Each curve of a vine, each tilt of a leaf, is a quiet act of harmony. In the soft unfolding of a new leaf, the earth's wisdom is written again. It is the same awareness that guided the first moss on stone, the first tree in sunlight, the first seed in soil. Through the language of light, gravity, and touch, plants continue their ancient conversation with the world. Their sensing never ceases, only slows with nightfall and begins again with dawn. In this endless rhythm, life renews itself, gently, silently, completely. Each year, as the days begin to shorten and the light softens across the landscape, the monarch butterflies begin their long, delicate journey. Their wings, glowing with orange and black patterns, move through the air like pieces of stained glass in motion. The migration of these butterflies is one of the most remarkable phenomena in the natural world, a vast and gentle rhythm repeated through generations. It begins in the northern parts of North America, where summer meadows and milkweed fields are their nurseries. As autumn approaches, the air cools and the flowers begin to fade. The monarchs sense the change in the angle of sunlight, an ancient signal that it is time to move. Slowly, steadily, they lift into the air, heading southward on a path that will take them thousands of miles. Each butterfly is light as a leaf, yet together they form a great, drifting current across the continent. They move not in a single flock, but as scattered travelers, following invisible lines in the sky. Some cross open plains, others pass over forests or farmland. Their journey can stretch for more than 2,000 miles, from Canada and the northern United States to the mountains of central Mexico. As they travel, the monarchs rest where they can, on trees, on flowers that still bloom, on the quiet shelter of tall grass. Theirs is not a hurried migration. It unfolds slowly, in harmony with the changing season. Along the way, the butterflies feed on nectar, gaining the energy they need to continue their flight. Every movement, every pause, is part of a long and patient rhythm. This generation of monarchs, known as the migratory generation, is unlike the ones that came before it. Most monarchs live only a few weeks, but the travelers of autumn are different. They are born to endure. Their bodies conserve energy, and their lifespans stretch to 8 months or more, long enough to carry them to their winter refuge. The mountains they seek are in Mexico, where tall oyamel fir trees grow in cool, misty forests. When they arrive, often in late October or early November, the butterflies gather in the thousands, clinging to branches and trunks. The air fills with a soft, fluttering sound, a whisper of wings settling into stillness. The forest becomes a living veil of orange, a resting place woven from countless delicate lives. Here in this sheltered sanctuary, the monarchs find the conditions they need to survive the winter. The temperature stays cool enough to slow their metabolism, yet not so cold that they freeze. The moisture in the air keeps their wings supple, and the canopy above shields them from wind and rain. For months, they remain mostly motionless, conserving energy, waiting for the seasons to turn again. When the days begin to lengthen, a change stirs within them. The sun's warmth reaches through the forest, and the butterflies begin to wake. One by one, they loosen their grip on the trees, rising into the light. The migration continues, not south this time, but northward once more, along the same path their ancestors followed. The return journey is not completed by a single generation. Instead, it unfolds through a relay of life. The monarchs that leave Mexico travel as far as the southern United States, where they mate and lay their eggs on milkweed plants. Their lives end soon after, but the next generation takes up the journey. Caterpillars feed, transform into chrysalises, and emerge as new butterflies, continuing northward in stages. Through the spring and summer, successive generations move farther across the continent. By late summer, the great-grandchildren of the butterflies that wintered in Mexico reach the northern fields once again. They live out their brief, bright lives among wildflowers, and their offspring, when autumn comes, will be the ones who journey south. The cycle continues, endless and graceful, guided by instinct and light. How monarchs find their way has long fascinated those who watch them. Each generation is new, with no memory of the journey, yet they follow nearly the same path each year. Scientists believe they navigate using a combination of internal senses and environmental cues, sunlight, magnetism, and even the position of the Earth itself. Within their small bodies lies a kind of compass. They can sense the angle of the sun and adjust their flight accordingly, keeping a steady direction even as the sun moves across the sky. When clouds cover the light, they may rely on the Earth's magnetic field, detecting faint signals that point the way. Together, these abilities form a quiet harmony of orientation, an innate map written in the language of nature. Their wings, patterned and thin, serve not only for flight, but also as delicate instruments of balance and temperature. By opening and closing them in the sun, the butterflies regulate warmth, maintaining the energy they need to glide on air currents. When the wind rises, they ride it gently, saving strength for the miles ahead. Every motion seems effortless, shaped by countless generations of adaptation. The monarch's migration is not rushed. It moves with the rhythm of the world. Across prairies, along river valleys, over mountain ridges, they travel where the wind and sunlight guide them. Sometimes they gather in small groups, resting together on a single tree or fence line. Sometimes one drifts alone, a quiet speck of orange in the vast blue sky. As autumn deepens, the migration becomes a quiet river of wings flowing south. People who see them often describe a feeling of stillness, as if time itself has slowed. The butterflies seem both fragile and eternal, each one a fleeting moment in a story far greater than itself. Even storms and distance cannot erase this rhythm. The path is carried forward in their bodies, in the subtle timing of life and season. It is a migration not of memory, but of continuity, the living thread that binds generations together through instinct and air. The resting grounds in Mexico are more than a refuge. They are a gathering of life that feels almost timeless. The butterflies hang in dense clusters, their wings folding and unfolding with the shifting light. The trees seem draped in color, shimmering softly as if breathing. The air is cool and still, filled with the faint scent of fir needles and earth. In this suspended world, millions of monarchs share the same calm purpose: to endure the winter and begin the cycle anew. It is a period of quiet endurance, a pause within the rhythm of movement. Even in stillness, the migration continues, waiting for the warmth to return. By February and March, the forest begins to awaken. The sun filters through the trees, and the air grows warmer. The butterflies take flight once more, their wings glinting in the morning light. They drift northward, feeding on flowers along the way, guided by the same unseen patterns that have always led them. When they reach the lands where milkweed grows, they pause to lay the first eggs of spring. Tiny and round, each egg clings to the underside of a leaf, holding within it the next stage of the journey. From those eggs, caterpillars will emerge, striped in black, white, and yellow, feeding until they are ready to transform. The cycle turns quietly onward. The migration of the monarchs is both a journey and a memory of the Earth's own rhythm. It connects mountains, meadows, and forests in a single continuous motion. Every generation plays its part, living briefly yet leaving behind the thread that ties the pattern together. This migration has endured for thousands of years, shaped by wind, light, and instinct. It continues despite the challenges of the modern world: loss of habitat, changing climate, shifting seasons. Still, the butterflies return, following their ancient paths across the sky, reminders of the resilience and grace within nature's design. At times, their path passes over quiet towns, rivers, or fields where the air seems to shimmer with their presence. A single monarch may appear to wander, but each flight, each pause, is part of a larger movement, coordinated across time rather than space. They travel not as individuals seeking a place, but as living expressions of a cycle that never truly ends. The journey is vast, but it unfolds gently. Generation after generation, the migration carries on, an unbroken flow of life that bridges distance and season. The butterflies follow their invisible map, guided by light and instinct, tracing the same invisible lines year after year. In the end, the migration is not only a movement across the land, but also a slow breathing of the natural world. It begins and ends with the turning of the seasons, each cycle blending softly into the next. The monarchs rise with the sun, rest in the shade, and sleep through the cool of the mountains, their wings folded like petals. Their story is not one of haste or triumph, but of quiet endurance, a dance of air and time carried gently from one generation to the next. Through their long, patient journey, the world itself seems to exhale, slow, calm, and endlessly returning. In the quiet of shaded forests and on the open faces of old stone, life begins in forms almost too small to notice. A damp rock surface, cool and still, becomes the stage for an ancient process, one that unfolds over years, centuries, and beyond. Here, the first pioneers of land take hold, mosses and lichens. Their presence softens what was once bare and unyielding, preparing the way for all that follows. Stone, though seeming lifeless, offers hidden opportunity. Its surface is marked by tiny imperfections, faint cracks, and mineral grains exposed to sun and rain. When wind or water carries a single lichen spore or a drifting moss fragment, it may land in one of these minute shelters. There it clings. There it begins the long, quiet work of turning rock into a cradle for life. Lichens are remarkable unions, part fungus, part alga, sometimes with traces of bacteria intertwined. Each partner brings its gift to the partnership. The fungus provides structure and shelter, forming a body that clings firmly to stone. The alga, tucked within, creates nourishment through sunlight, sharing the energy it gathers. Together, they create something neither could achieve alone: endurance in places too harsh for almost anything else. Over time, lichens form delicate crusts across the rock's surface. Some spread like thin paint, others grow in small branching forms or leafy mats. To the eye, they appear still, yet beneath their calm surface, they are slowly, patiently at work. Acids secreted by the fungal partner seep into the mineral beneath, dissolving and reshaping it at a microscopic level. The stone, ancient and solid, begins to loosen grain by grain. Each passing season brings cycles of moisture and dryness. Rain swells the lichen's tissues, allowing it to breathe and grow. Then, in dry weather, it contracts and rests, holding its moisture close. These rhythms of expansion and rest gently pry at the stone's surface, widening cracks and creating fine dust from what once was solid rock. Even in stillness, the process continues, a whisper of transformation measured in centuries. As lichen colonies thicken, tiny pockets of organic material form between them. Dead cells, fragments of growth, and traces of airborne dust collect in sheltered hollows. In these simple beginnings, the first hint of soil takes shape. The rock, touched by time and life, begins its slow surrender to fertility. Nearby, mosses begin their own quiet arrival. Their spores drift through the air, light as mist, until they settle on damp patches of lichen or shaded crevices. A single spore germinates, forming slender filaments that explore the stone's surface, seeking moisture. When conditions are right, delicate green shoots appear, tiny leaves arranged in spirals, forming soft cushions that trap water and light. Unlike lichens, mosses are plants, though among the most ancient. They have no roots, no flowers, no seeds. Their nourishment comes through direct contact with the world around them. Each leaf absorbs moisture from rain and mist. Each thread-like stem clings to stone, weaving a living carpet over the rough surface. Mosses thrive where lichens have prepared the way. The faint layer of lichen dust and mineral fragments holds moisture just long enough for moss to persist. The two coexist, their lives intertwined in the making of something larger. The lichen breaks down the mineral surface, while the moss begins to hold that loosened material in place. With each rainfall, more dust settles, more organic matter accumulates, and the first texture of soil thickens beneath their cover. The moss itself becomes a miniature world. Within its dense mats, droplets linger long after rain has passed. Tiny creatures, rotifers, springtails, and invisible microbes move among the leaves, living their brief lives in the shelter of moisture and shade. Their remains, too, become part of the growing layer of organic matter that enriches the forming soil. As decades turn, the stone grows softer to the touch. Where once there was only bare mineral, there is now a faint, spongy cushion. Seeds from nearby plants fall upon it, perhaps a fern spore or the wind-blown seed of a grass. Some take hold, their roots finding anchorage in the narrowest of cracks. Their growth deepens the weathering process, further breaking down the stone and adding to the accumulation of organic debris. Still, at the foundation of it all remain the lichens and mosses. Their cycles of growth and decay set the rhythm of transformation. Each generation builds upon the quiet labor of the one before, until what was once unyielding stone becomes a place capable of sustaining whole communities of life. The colors of this early landscape are subtle and serene. Pale grays of crustose lichens merge into soft greens of moss, occasionally tinged with gold where sunlight lingers. In damp weather, everything darkens, the surfaces glisten, and droplets collect at the tips of moss stalks. During dry spells, the hues fade, the tissues curl inward, conserving life until the next mist returns. Every phase carries its own still beauty, a gentle variation on endurance. The air in such places often feels different, cool, moist, faintly scented of earth and stone. The surfaces are silent, yet alive with processes that proceed too slowly for perception. In that slowness lies their strength. Mosses and lichens are patient beyond measure, working on a timescale that matches the rhythm of mountains. In cold alpine regions, these pioneers are often the only vegetation. Spread thin across boulders and scree, they capture sunlight reflected from snow and tolerate freezing nights that would destroy other forms of life. Their growth may be measured in millimeters per century, yet they persist. In deserts, too, lichens form crusts on soil and stone, catching the rare rainfall, sealing moisture beneath, and protecting the ground from erosion. Everywhere they occur, they shape their environment in ways unseen. They hold dust against wind, trap water against evaporation, and begin the endless exchange between mineral and living matter. Their presence marks the first step in the long succession that leads from rock to forest, from silence to the rustle of leaves. Some lichens glow with faint color, orange, yellow, or black, each pigment a shield against the sun. Others remain pale and gray, blending completely with the stone they inhabit. Their shapes can seem abstract, but each pattern tells a story of microclimate and time, where water runs, where frost gathers, where sunlight touches most gently. When viewed closely, a single patch of lichen becomes a landscape of its own. Fungal threads form a dense architecture, the algal cells nestled safely inside. The texture is rough yet delicate, like the surface of ancient parchment. On its edges, moss shoots may appear, their tiny capsules lifting into the air to release new spores. In this shared space, the boundaries between plant, fungus, and mineral blur, forming a seamless web of life and matter. As soil develops, small roots begin to take hold, and with them come new layers of change. Yet even as taller plants rise, the mosses and lichens remain close to the stone, continuing their slow work. They persist in shaded hollows, on the north sides of trees, along the edges of waterfalls and mountain paths. Their role never truly ends. They continue to renew and stabilize even as other forms of life grow above them. The cycle of colonization, growth, and decay repeats endlessly. When a surface is newly exposed, a landslide, a fresh boulder in a stream, a building's stone wall, moss and lichen return to begin the process again. They are the quiet custodians of renewal, always ready to weave the first threads of life into what seems lifeless. Over time, the boundary between rock and soil disappears into softness. What was once granite or basalt now holds the beginnings of loam, dark and cool to the touch. The minerals released from the stone mingle with the organic matter formed by generations of tiny lives. The surface breathes moisture and hosts the fine roots of grasses, the tendrils of ferns. A forest floor is born not from sudden growth, but from ages of patient transformation. In this way, the smallest forms become the foundation of the largest. The moss that clings to a boulder on a mountainside, the lichen that spreads across a tombstone or cliff, they are not merely adornments, but builders. Their quiet presence links the mineral world with the living one, showing that even stone can be tender, given time. At dusk, when the air cools and light fades across the landscape, the textures of moss and lichen deepen. The moist surfaces catch the last glimmers of fading sun. Tiny threads gleam like silver, and droplets hang in stillness. In that moment, the work of centuries seems condensed into calm, a reminder of life's patience and persistence. No sound accompanies their growth, no motion stirs their progress. Only the slow, invisible merging of life and stone, moisture and light, time and decay. This union continues quietly, whether observed or not, forming the gentle soil beneath every forest and meadow on earth. In the long silence between rains, their colors may fade, yet they endure. When moisture returns, they awaken again, restoring their green, their soft sheen. Nothing is hurried, nothing is wasted. The balance between dormancy and renewal remains constant, as dependable as the turning of seasons. And so the cycle continues, minute lives joining with mineral, building foundations for all others to come. A calm and steady transformation, ancient beyond memory, shaping the living world grain by grain, breath by breath. Beneath the surface of the forest floor, where light no longer reaches and roots thread through the quiet soil, a vast and delicate network is alive. It moves unseen, weaving between grains of earth, wrapping gently around roots, extending into the spaces between stones and leaves. This is the world of mycorrhizae, ancient, cooperative threads of fungus that bind together the health of soil, plants, and entire ecosystems. In their slow, silent way, they help forests breathe, grow, and renew. The soil, though humble in appearance, is one of the richest living systems on Earth. Within a handful of it, countless microorganisms thrive, each performing its subtle role. Among these, mycorrhizal fungi form one of the most essential relationships known to life, a mutual connection between plant and fungus that has endured for hundreds of millions of years. Their filaments, called hyphae, spread outward from roots in fine, hair-like strands, far beyond what roots alone could reach. These filaments explore the soil, searching not with eyes or senses, but through chemistry and gentle contact. They absorb minerals, draw in moisture, and deliver nutrients to their plant hosts. In return, the plants share what they have gathered from sunlight, sugars, and carbohydrates, the currency of photosynthesis. This quiet exchange forms a continuous cycle of nourishment and trust, built upon the slow rhythm of the forest's life. There are two main kinds of mycorrhizal partnerships, each with its own subtle patterns. Ectomycorrhizae form sheaths around the outer surfaces of roots, wrapping them in soft layers of fungal tissue. They are common among trees such as pines, oaks, and birches, helping them thrive in the cool soils of temperate forests. Endomycorrhizae, by contrast, grow within the root cells themselves, creating intricate networks inside the plant's living tissues. These are found in most herbaceous plants and many crops, working invisibly to sustain life in fields and meadows. The relationship between fungus and plant is one of balance and reciprocity. Each partner provides what the other cannot. The fungus extends the reach of the root system, gathering phosphorus, nitrogen, and trace minerals from distant pockets of the soil. The plant, in turn, provides the energy that fuels this search. Together, they create a unified organism, half-rooted, half-thread-like, that moves nutrients through the earth like currents in a slow-moving stream. This connection does more than feed individual plants. Mycorrhizae link many plants together into larger webs of communication and exchange, sometimes called the mycorrhizal network. Through this underground network, carbon and nutrients can move from one tree to another, from seedling to elder, from shaded sapling to a tree basking in the sun. The forest becomes, in this way, a single connected body, whispering through soil and root. The soil itself is transformed by this relationship. As mycorrhizal hyphae spread, they bind loose particles together, improving the structure and stability of the ground. Their filaments weave around soil aggregates, holding moisture like a sponge and creating passageways for air. This gentle architecture allows roots to breathe and rainwater to soak in slowly, reducing erosion and nourishing life below. Within these threads, another kind of gift is formed. Mycorrhizae release organic compounds that help the soil hold carbon, storing it safely in the dark earth. This natural process locks away atmospheric carbon dioxide, a quiet act that supports the planet's balance over centuries. In this way, every forest becomes not only a home for life, but also a vast and living archive of air and time. In forests where mycorrhizae flourish, the effects are profound. Trees grow more resilient, able to withstand drought and nutrient-poor soils. Saplings connected to older trees through fungal threads receive subtle transfers of carbon, helping them survive the early, fragile years beneath the canopy. The soil becomes richer, deeper, and more textured, a living skin beneath the forest's feet. When the seasons change and leaves fall to the ground, the fungi continue their patient work. They help decompose the fallen matter, releasing nutrients back into circulation. In this way, nothing in the forest is truly lost. Every leaf, every decaying root, becomes part of the slow renewal of the soil, guided by the unseen hands of the fungi. The origins of this partnership stretch far into the history of the Earth. Fossil evidence suggests that the first plants to colonize land did so with the help of mycorrhizal fungi. Without them, roots might never have adapted to extract nutrients from the mineral-rich but barren rock. Together, plant and fungus began the long transformation of the planet's surface, creating soil where none had existed before and paving the way for the forests that would one day cover the continents. Even now, in the world's most ancient woodlands, this connection endures. Mycorrhizal species are diverse, thousands upon thousands of kinds, each adapted to its specific environment and host. In boreal forests, fine ectomycorrhizae lace through the roots of conifers, helping them draw sustenance from cold, acidic soils. In tropical forests, dense webs of endomycorrhizae knit together trees and understory plants in a continuous exchange of life. Everywhere, the same quiet logic persists: give and receive, share and renew. In healthy soil, these networks are abundant and intricate, but they are also sensitive. Disturbances such as deforestation, overuse of fertilizers, and soil compaction can weaken or destroy them. The heavy footprint of machinery or the absence of organic matter can sever the fragile hyphae and break the bonds between plant and fungus. When this happens, soils lose their coherence, becoming less able to retain moisture or resist erosion. Nutrient cycles slow, and the quiet symphony beneath the ground falls silent. Restoring mycorrhizal life is an act of patience. It often begins with reintroducing organic matter, fallen leaves, compost, decaying wood, that offers shelter and nourishment for microbial communities. Over time, native plants and their fungal partners return, reweaving the hidden fabric of the soil. This regeneration cannot be hurried. It moves at the pace of roots growing, of fungi exploring, of soil remembering how to live again. In agriculture, understanding mycorrhizae has opened new ways to care for the land. Farmers who cultivate living soils encourage these fungal networks through reduced tillage and natural amendments. Crops grown in partnership with mycorrhizae often require fewer chemical inputs, as the fungi enhance nutrient uptake and protect against pathogens. The soil becomes more than a medium for growth. It becomes a living collaborator, one that sustains both plant and planet. In reforestation efforts, seedlings inoculated with native mycorrhizal fungi tend to establish more successfully. Their roots grow stronger, their resistance to stress improves, and the surrounding ecosystem recovers more quickly. Through this gentle guidance, humans can work with the ancient wisdom of fungi rather than against it, restoring the natural cycles that maintain balance and fertility. At a deeper level, the existence of mycorrhizae reshapes the understanding of what a forest truly is. It is not a collection of isolated trees, but a community bound by invisible threads. Each organism, from towering oak to delicate fern, participates in a continuous exchange of energy and information. The forest, seen through the lens of mycorrhizae, becomes a single breathing system, a vast, interdependent web that sustains itself through cooperation rather than competition. Within this web, light and shadow are shared currencies. Carbon gathered by a sunlit canopy may travel underground to a shaded seedling, offering sustenance until it finds its own place in the light. Water moves through fungal channels from moist hollows to dry ridges, balancing scarcity with abundance. These flows are quiet, slow, and steady, echoing the forest's rhythm of calm endurance. The presence of mycorrhizae also shapes the way forests respond to change. In times of stress, drought, disease, or fire, the network helps stabilize the community. Resources can be redirected where they are needed most, allowing life to persist even under strain. When renewal begins, the fungi are among the first to recover, bridging the gap between what was lost and what will grow again. Such resilience is not born from strength alone, but from connection. The threads of the mycorrhizal web are delicate, almost weightless, yet their combined presence holds entire landscapes together. They are reminders that endurance often comes from softness, and that the smallest interactions can shape the largest patterns of life. As sunlight filters through leaves and rain settles into the earth, the cycle continues. Mycorrhizal fungi spread and retract, roots reach and rest, and the soil quietly transforms. Each movement is almost imperceptible, yet through these tiny acts, forests grow and sustain themselves for centuries. The rhythm is ancient and unhurried, a conversation in which every voice, however small, contributes to the harmony of the whole. To imagine this hidden world is to feel the depth of stillness that lies beneath every forest path. A silence filled not with emptiness, but with life too subtle to see. The soil breathes, the roots listen, and the fungi weave their endless patterns, slow, soft, and essential. In this quiet collaboration, the earth remembers its own continuity, its calm and enduring balance. In the end, mycorrhizae are neither plant nor soil, neither separate nor singular. They are the gentle intermediaries of life, connecting the living to the living, the present to the ancient. Through their invisible work, the land becomes whole, and the forest stands not just as a collection of trees, but as a unified, breathing world. Their story is one of harmony without haste, of cooperation without noise. Beneath the feet of every forest lies this calm intelligence, this soft persistence that sustains all things green and growing. It is a reminder that strength can be quiet, and that the most vital connections are often the ones unseen. In the quiet world of plants, time moves according to a rhythm unseen yet deeply felt. Long before sunrise touches the leaves, subtle changes begin within their cells. A soft anticipation stirs as molecules align, preparing for the gentle light to return. This is the internal clock of plants, a circadian rhythm that guides every fold of a leaf, every opening of a flower, every breath of green life. Beneath the surface of what seems like stillness, there is a slow, measured pulse of activity. Just as day and night alternate across the sky, An ancient biological pattern flows through each stem and petal. The rhythm is steady, a cycle lasting roughly 24 hours, repeating in endless quiet continuity. It connects the living world to the rotation of the earth itself. As dawn approaches, the first light triggers the plant's internal mechanisms. Leaves begin to unfurl, and hidden pores called stomata open, allowing air to enter. Within each cell, proteins sense the changing hue of the sky, responding to wavelengths that whisper of morning. The circadian clock, synchronized with this light, signals the beginning of the day's gentle work. This clock is not a single part of the plant, but a symphony of timing within its tissues. In the leaves, the rhythm governs photosynthesis. In the roots, it influences the absorption of water and minerals. In flowers, it directs the moment of blooming. Every process moves in harmony, woven into a pattern of light and shadow. Even in total darkness, the rhythm continues. If a plant is placed where the sun never reaches, it still follows its pattern for days on end. The internal clock does not stop. It remembers the rhythm of the world. This persistence shows that the cycle is not imposed from outside, but arises from deep within the living system itself. The heart of this timing lies in molecular feedback loops. Special genes awaken in the morning, producing proteins that accumulate and over time silence the very genes that made them. As these proteins fade, the genes awaken again and the cycle begins anew. The rise and fall of these molecules form a gentle oscillation, a biological pendulum that keeps time without a sound. Light plays the role of guide and reminder. Photoreceptors within the plant detect specific colors of sunlight, blue, red, and far red, and adjust the internal clock accordingly. These signals help the plant stay synchronized with the turning earth. When days lengthen towards summer or shorten into winter, the clock adapts, helping the plant know when to grow, flower, or rest. In the dim hours of twilight, the rhythm begins to slow. Energy gathered from the day's light is gradually released and stored. The plant prepares for night, closing stomata and conserving moisture. Within the cells, the tempo of metabolism changes, shifting toward repair and restoration. Night is not absence, but a softer phase of balance. The circadian rhythm offers more than order, it offers efficiency. When a process occurs at the right time, energy is used with precision. Photosynthesis peaks when sunlight is strongest. Growth accelerates in the quiet of night when resources are free to build new tissues. Even defense responses, subtle chemical protections against pests, follow daily timing to be ready before dawn. This harmony with the environment is an ancient adaptation. Long before humans measured hours, plants evolved to read the language of day and night. Their clocks became attuned to cycles of temperature, moisture, and the path of the sun. Over millennia, this synchronization shaped the diversity of life on Earth's surface. Each species carries its own rhythm, fine-tuned to its surroundings. A desert cactus feels time differently from a forest fern. Some flowers open at first light to greet pollinators that rise early, while others wait for the cool hush of evening. Each timing is a quiet conversation between life and environment, carried out without words, only through rhythm and response. In the Arctic summer, where daylight can last for weeks, plants adjust by softening their cycles, keeping a slower beat that still honors the pattern of light's subtle fluctuations. In deep rainforests, where shadows linger, plants rely more on temperature cues and internal memory. Everywhere, the same principle endures. The dance of time continues, no matter how faint the light. The awareness of time in plants extends even to their movements. Some leaves tilt toward the sun by day, then gently fold as night descends. This motion, known as nyctinasty, follows the circadian rhythm as faithfully as the opening of morning blooms. Within each motion lies a precise coordination of cellular pressure and energy flow, rising and falling like a tide. Roots too are guided by time. Studies have shown that the rate of nutrient uptake shifts over the course of a day. Even the microscopic growth of root hairs follows a rhythm, exploring soil with steady patience. It is as though every part of the plant listens to a silent metronome, never rushing, never late. Beyond individual plants, entire ecosystems move to these rhythms. Forests inhale and exhale carbon in daily waves, influenced by millions of coordinated clocks. Meadows shimmer with petals that open and close according to time's quiet pull. The rhythm of the Earth's vegetation forms an unseen breathing of the planet, linking life to the cycle of light and darkness. This collective harmony contributes to the balance of atmosphere and climate. When plants photosynthesize during daylight, they draw in carbon dioxide, shaping the chemistry of the air. At night, respiration returns a measure of what was taken. Even these exchanges happen within the boundaries set by circadian control, giving the biosphere its subtle rhythm of renewal. In crops and gardens, understanding these inner clocks can guide cultivation. Farmers who study plant rhythms find ways to align watering, pruning, and harvest times with natural cycles. Seeds germinate more effectively when exposed to the right patterns of light and darkness. The wisdom of circadian timing continues to reveal itself in the practical world of growth. Scientists, too, have come to appreciate the sophistication of these rhythms. Using genetic tools, they trace the circuits of time within cells, identifying the genes and proteins that form the clock's intricate gears. What they discover echoes a deeper truth, that timekeeping in life is universal, shared across plants, animals, and even microscopic organisms. The form may differ, but the principle remains. Life measures light and darkness to find its balance. The history of circadian rhythm research began with quiet observation. Centuries ago, botanists noticed that certain flowers opened at predictable hours, even when kept in constant shade. The discovery that this timing was internal transformed our understanding of living systems. From that realization grew the field of chronobiology, the study of biological time. Modern research shows that the plant clock interacts with nearly every aspect of physiology. It affects hormone levels, growth rates, and stress responses. It helps plants anticipate sunrise rather than simply react to it, giving them a form of biological foresight. This anticipation allows them to prepare for photosynthesis before light arrives, conserving energy and ensuring smooth transitions between night and day. Inside the plant's nucleus, a delicate choreography unfolds each day. Genes activate and deactivate in rhythmic patterns, their timing regulated by proteins that bind and release in turn. Messenger molecules carry instructions through the cytoplasm, setting off cascades of activity. It is a cycle of expression and rest, work and renewal, repeated endlessly with quiet precision. The rhythm also communicates between cells. Signals pass through the plant's tissues, ensuring that leaves and roots remain synchronized. This coordination allows the whole organism to act as one, responding to light, temperature, and moisture in harmony. The clock within each cell is individual, yet connected, forming a community of timekeepers within every living plant. The influence of the plant's clock extends beyond physiology into the structure of ecosystems. Pollinators and herbivores adapt to plant rhythms, visiting flowers or feeding when nectar and nutrients are most abundant. In this way, the timing of one species shapes the behavior of another, weaving a web of interdependence that stretches across landscapes. Even fungi and bacteria that live near roots follow patterns influenced by their host plants. The soil itself, rich with microbial life, breathes in step with vegetation above. Each sunrise and sunset ripple through layers of living matter, aligning the smallest cell with the turning of the world. To watch a plant over the course of a day is to witness the unfolding of time in its purest form. From the gentle lift of morning leaves to the stillness of night, every phase flows into the next without haste. The rhythm is steady, patient, and kind, an embodiment of endurance shaped by the passage of countless dawns. The circadian clock of plants reminds the world that time is not merely measured in minutes, but felt as balance and rhythm. It is a quiet reminder of connection to the earth's spin, to the warmth of sunlight, to the pulse of life that moves unseen within green forms. As night deepens, the cycle continues unseen. Energy drawn from the day is distributed where it is needed most. Cells repair themselves, and signals prepare for morning. The silence of darkness holds within it the promise of renewal, the certainty that light will return and the rhythm will begin again. In this slow, endless turning, the world of plants keeps time with the earth itself. The rhythm hums softly through forests, gardens, and meadows, a whisper of life in harmony with the passing of day and night. It is a rhythm without hurry, without end, always unfolding in peace. Across the quiet span of the natural world, every living creature moves through cycles of warmth and coolness. Beneath fur, feathers, scales, and skin, countless lives unfold in rhythm with the changing air, the deep stillness of water, and the steady light of the sun. Each heart, large or small, carries its own way of balancing heat and cold, a quiet, lifelong dialogue between the body and the world that surrounds it. In the soft light of dawn, a mammal stirs. Deep within, tiny chemical reactions begin to hum, creating warmth from within. Mammals belong to a group known for their inner fire, endotherms, whose bodies maintain a steady temperature regardless of the day's weather. It is a gentle constancy, a warmth generated by the slow burn of metabolism. Beneath a layer of fur or fat, this warmth is preserved, allowing life to continue through frost, rain, and shade. A bear resting in its den embodies this balance. Its great body, wrapped in thick fur, conserves the warmth created within. During winter's long silence, its temperature drifts slightly lower, metabolism slowing, heartbeat softening. Yet the internal flame does not fade. It remains steady enough to protect, to sustain, to keep the bear dreaming through the snow-laden months until the first melt awakens the forest once again. Far away beneath the open sky of a desert, another rhythm unfolds. A lizard basks upon a warm stone, still and serene. Its body does not make heat the way mammals do. Instead, it listens to the sun. It absorbs the gentle energy of morning light until movement feels possible. When the day grows too bright and hot, it withdraws to the shadows, cooling slowly, waiting for the evening to arrive. Ectotherms, like this lizard, move in harmony with their surroundings, their temperature rising and falling with the earth itself. In their quiet patience lies a different kind of mastery, an art of stillness and adaptation, shaped by millions of years beneath open skies. In oceans that breathe with the tides, marine creatures experience another form of regulation. The vast waters cradle their inhabitants in a cool, stable world where temperatures change only with the slow turning of the seasons. A whale glides beneath the surface, its immense body insulated by layers of blubber. This dense, fatty shield holds warmth close, protecting against the chill of deep currents. The whale's heartbeat echoes softly through the water, a reminder of warmth moving within the cold expanse. Nearby, a sea turtle drifts through shallows, letting the temperature of the water guide its pace. Like the lizard on land, the turtle's body yields to the rhythm of the ocean. In warmer waters, it becomes more active, graceful, and alert. In cooler depths, it slows, resting among coral and sand. For these creatures, temperature is not a problem to solve, but a condition to flow with, a conversation between movement and stillness, light and depth. In the quiet heart of a forest, birds reveal another path. Their bodies burn with life, often warmer than most mammals. Beneath delicate feathers, they sustain a temperature so high that flight becomes possible. The light bones and powerful muscles of a bird depend on the quick, efficient release of energy. To keep this balance, feathers act as a soft and intricate shield. Each plume holds air close to the skin, trapping warmth like the layers of a gentle breeze. When resting, a bird may fluff its feathers, creating more space for air to insulate. When the sun rises, it may lift its wings to feel the warmth across its body, aligning itself with the day. Some birds, especially those that live in cold places, have found small and subtle ways to conserve heat. A tiny chickadee may tuck its head beneath its wing on a winter branch, allowing warmth to circulate through the enclosed space. Penguins, standing shoulder to shoulder in Antarctic winds, form vast huddles where each bird contributes its body heat to the group. Within the dense cluster, the temperature may rise enough to create a small, shared summer in the middle of the ice. It is a quiet demonstration of balance, life held steady through cooperation, through closeness, through the simple act of being together. In the stillness of a cave, the story changes again. Bats, those gentle architects of the night sky, enter deep states of torpor when temperatures fall. Their bodies slow until breath and heartbeat are faint whispers. Energy is saved, warmth is preserved, and life continues in near silence. This temporary stillness connects them to both worlds, endotherm and ectotherm, capable of generating heat when needed, yet willing to let it fade when rest is wiser. In the shimmering air of grasslands, another marvel unfolds. Large animals like elephants or antelopes live under open sun and must find balance in different ways. An elephant's ears, broad and thin, serve as living radiators. Blood flows through the fine network of vessels within, releasing heat into the breeze. Each gentle flap cools the circulating flow, returning it softly to the heart. Meanwhile, an antelope may rely on specialized arteries near the brain that cool incoming blood, protecting its thoughts from the desert's intensity. In such adaptations, there is elegance, the body itself becoming an instrument of regulation, tuned to its environment. Amphibians tell a quieter story still. In moist habitats, frogs and salamanders rest between water and land, their delicate skins exchanging warmth and moisture freely with the air. Some species enter a frozen state during winter, their hearts stopping, their tissues preserved by natural antifreeze. When spring returns, warmth seeps through the soil, and life resumes as though waking from a long, slow dream. These moments of near stillness, where existence narrows to a pause, reveal the deep resilience woven into every living form. Fish moving through cool rivers or tropical seas display another layer of this complexity. Some species, like the tuna or certain sharks, are partially warm-blooded, maintaining elevated temperatures in key muscles to move with greater strength and endurance. Others, like carp or catfish, simply follow the water's flow, adjusting their metabolism to match the currents. The ocean itself becomes an extension of their bodies, each wave a breath, each temperature shift a signal to rise or rest. In the deep desert night, as sand cools under stars, small mammals awaken. Kangaroo rats, with their large eyes and soft fur, move through the chill air with bodies built to conserve moisture and warmth. Their burrows retain the day's fading heat, creating gentle refuges below the surface. In these hidden spaces, the line between the outer world and the inner remains soft, a gradual exchange, steady and quiet. Even within the smallest beings, this balance exists. Insects bask in early sunlight, their delicate wings absorbing warmth before flight. Some, like the honeybee, shiver their flight muscles to generate heat within the hive, keeping the colony at a steady temperature even through cold nights. Inside that shared warmth, life continues in harmony, every wingbeat contributing to the gentle hum of survival. The cold-blooded and the warm-blooded, the sleepers and the wanderers, all share the same essential goal: to remain within the narrow band where life feels possible. Each has evolved not through struggle, but through deep alignment with its world. For every frozen pond that shelters a motionless frog, there is a sunlit meadow where fur glows with trapped warmth. For every desert wind that cools a lizard's skin, there is a dense forest canopy holding the still air close to a bird's chest. The diversity of these systems mirrors the diversity of the planet itself, where each environment becomes both challenge and comfort, teacher and home. Within the quiet exchange between body and climate lies a kind of wisdom. It is not the sharp wisdom of calculation, but the slow knowing of adaptation, a calm understanding that warmth and coolness must flow in rhythm, not in opposition. Life has learned not to resist these movements, but to move with them, gently and patiently, in patterns older than memory. As the day fades and twilight spreads its calm light, the animal world begins to settle once again into its patterns of rest. Heat dissipates from rocks and leaves, from feathers and fur. Air cools, and with it, heart beats slow. The world exhales softly, the pulse of life steady and low. In the darkness, bodies find comfort in the temperatures they have come to trust, the perfect balance that allows life to continue quietly, endlessly, through night and time. And so the story of temperature in the living world continues, unhurried and harmonious. Each creature, from the smallest insect to the largest whale, carries its own rhythm of warmth. Together, they weave a tapestry of adaptation, a song of balance whispered through forests, deserts, and seas. It is a gentle music, one that never truly ends, but moves on softly into the stillness of the next dawn. Across the wide expanse of the world's oceans, sound becomes a lifeline. In the deep, where sunlight fades into blue shadow, sound travels farther and clearer than light ever could. For whales, this is their language, their way of mapping, remembering, and connecting across distances greater than any creature on land could imagine. Whales live in a world shaped by sound. Every note, pulse, and vibration ripples through the water, carrying messages that move through entire ocean basins. These sounds tell of presence, of distance, of companionship. Some are brief and rhythmic, others stretch long and low, like echoes that never quite fade. Through this vast acoustic world, whales find one another in the silence of the sea. In the upper layers of the ocean, where waves and currents stir constantly, whales produce calls that weave through the hum of the water. Baleen whales, with their immense bodies, create low-frequency songs that can travel thousands of kilometers. Their voices move like slow rolling thunder beneath the waves. These songs drift along the sound channels of the ocean, refracting and bending, finding pathways that allow them to cross entire basins without losing strength. Each whale species has its own patterns, its own language of tone and rhythm. The blue whale's call is among the deepest, reaching frequencies too low for human ears to easily detect. These sounds vibrate through the water and the very seafloor, resonating like the breath of the planet itself. In contrast, the humpback whale's songs are elaborate and melodic, full of rises and falls, repeating phrases, and subtle improvisations. Over time, these songs evolve, shared and reshaped by different groups across years and oceans. The structure of a whale's song reveals the complexity of its world. Each sequence of notes and moans follows a pattern, a musical grammar shaped by generations of singers. Humpback whales, for example, compose their songs in sections, each with a distinct theme. A moan gives way to a chirp, then to a haunting cry that fades into silence before beginning again. These cycles can last for hours, flowing without urgency, like a tide that never rushes. Deep below, the ocean's layers hold a channel where sound travels with the least resistance, a natural conduit called the deep sound channel. Whales seem to know this instinctively. They send their calls into this layer, allowing their voices to move vast distances. A single note from a blue whale may be heard thousands of kilometers away by another, as if the ocean itself were carrying the conversation through time. To live in such a world is to perceive through vibration. Whales sense the shifting frequencies that fill their surroundings. The pulsing clicks of sperm whales, the patterned knocks of fin whales, the long calls of right whales, all become part of the ocean's invisible architecture of sound. Through it, whales orient themselves, find feeding grounds, and maintain bonds that endure across migrations and seasons. For toothed whales, sound is not only a means of communication, but also of perception. Dolphins and sperm whales use echolocation, releasing bursts of clicks that reflect off objects and return as echoes. These echoes paint a picture of the world in exquisite detail: the contours of a fish, the shape of a rock, the distance of another whale. Each click, each return, becomes part of an ongoing conversation with the environment, where listening is as important as speaking. In the depths, where darkness reigns and light cannot reach, echolocation becomes vision through sound. The clicks quicken, forming a rhythmic pulse that narrows as the whale focuses on a target. The process is precise and effortless, unfolding in harmony with the fluid stillness of the deep. The ocean listens back, and in that exchange, life navigates its hidden paths. Some whale calls are social, meant to maintain contact within a group. Others are solitary, songs that seem to fill the empty sea with presence. A mother and her calf may communicate in gentle, muted tones, sounds softened to avoid the notice of predators. A pod of orcas might exchange sharp whistles and pulsing calls, coordinating movement with a level of understanding that resembles orchestration. Each kind of sound holds meaning within its own context, the pitch, duration, and rhythm changing with emotion and intent. The ocean becomes a living network of voices, always shifting, always awake. Even silence carries weight, marking the pauses between calls, the moments of stillness before another message begins its journey through the water. Vastness of the sea does not separate these voices. Instead, it joins them. Whales that migrate along distant routes may still recognize familiar patterns, echoing through layers of water that connect one ocean to another. Some scientists believe that these vocal patterns may carry cultural significance, learned behaviors passed from one generation to the next. The songs of humpback whales, for instance, can spread across entire ocean populations, evolving slowly as new themes emerge and old ones fade. In this way, the ocean becomes an archive of memory. Each wave carries fragments of sound from countless lives. Some linger just below the surface, while others travel deep into the farthest reaches of the sea. The resonance of a single whale may drift for hours before finally dissolving into the background hum of the world's waters. For whales, listening is a way of knowing. The ocean's soundscape holds the rhythm of tides, the murmurs of shifting currents, and the distant thunder of breaking ice. Whales move through this symphony, attuned to patterns humans rarely perceive. They can sense the call of another whale across unimaginable distances, a reminder of how deeply connected the ocean truly is. Modern research has begun to uncover the extraordinary sensitivity of these creatures. Hydrophones placed deep beneath the waves record their songs, tracing the routes of communication that stretch from one continent to another. Scientists have found that certain calls can cross entire oceans, reaching from the Pacific to the Atlantic, uninterrupted, except by the natural contours of the sea. These recordings capture not just data, but a living testament to the unity of marine life. The slow cadence of a whale's call mirrors the rhythm of the ocean itself. There is patience in its repetition, a steady unfolding that invites stillness. Each note seems to arise not from effort, but from the natural flow of being. In that sound lies the echo of vastness, a calm reminder of the deep balance between creature and world. The history of whale communication spans millennia, long before humans first ventured onto the sea. Their songs may have once echoed through oceans untouched by engines and machinery, where sound moved freely without interference. Today, those same frequencies must navigate through the noise of ships and industrial activity. Yet, even within this changed world, whales continue to sing. Their voices adapt, their patterns shift, and still they find each other across the endless blue. Some calls seem ancient, resonating like memories from an older Earth. Others feel newly formed, part of an ongoing dialogue between generations. Each carries traces of evolution, of adaptation and resilience. In listening to these voices, scientists gain insight not only into communication, but into the deep intelligence that defines whale societies. Whale songs are more than sound. They are expressions of space and emotion, of belonging and distance. They reveal how the ocean is not a place of silence, but of constant conversation. Even in stillness, the sea hums with energy, the pulse of currents, the movement of tides, the faint whisper of whale voices merging with the rhythm of the earth. Imagine the sound of a blue whale's call as it travels through the deep. It begins as a low vibration, almost imperceptible, then expands outward, moving steadily across the water's layers. For minutes or even hours, it continues, uninterrupted, until it reaches another whale far beyond the horizon. Somewhere that call is received, perhaps recognized, perhaps answered. In that moment, two beings are connected by a bridge of sound spanning thousands of kilometers, suspended in the stillness of the sea. The continuity of this connection defines whale life. Migrations follow familiar acoustic paths, guiding whales through vast distances. Sound reflects from mountain-like ridges beneath the waves, from the slopes of continental shelves, and from the bodies of icebergs drifting through polar seas. The ocean's geography becomes a part of their language, shaping the journey of each call. Through the repetition of song, whales mark the passing of seasons. The same melodies may return year after year, subtly changed, but always recognizable. These songs become part of the rhythm of time, the heartbeat of the sea, slow and steady. Listening to them reveals a world that moves without haste, where every sound carries both meaning and stillness. In this quiet, the ocean breathes. Whales rise and descend, their movements in harmony with the slow pulse of the earth. Their voices ripple outward, fading and returning like tides. Each note dissolves softly into the water, joining the countless echoes that shape the living silence of the deep. As the last vibrations of a song drift into distance, the sea remains calm. The sound may have crossed an entire ocean, yet it leaves behind no mark but the memory of connection. Beneath the waves, the world continues in gentle motion, vast, steady, and full of quiet voices that speak in tones older than time itself. Across the wide expanse of the world's oceans, sound becomes a lifeline. In the deep, where sunlight fades into blue shadow, sound travels farther and clearer than light ever could. For whales, this is their language, their way of mapping, remembering, and connecting across distances greater than any creature on land could imagine. Whales live in a world shaped by sound. Every note, pulse, and vibration ripples through the water, carrying messages that move through entire ocean basins. These sounds tell of presence, of distance, of companionship. Some are brief and rhythmic, others stretch long and low, like echoes that never quite fade. Through this vast acoustic world, whales find one another in the silence of the sea. In the upper layers of the ocean, where waves and currents stir constantly, whales produce calls that weave through the hum of the water. Baleen whales, with their immense bodies, create low-frequency songs that can travel thousands of kilometers. Their voices move like slow rolling thunder beneath the waves. These songs drift along the sound channels of the ocean, refracting and bending, finding pathways that allow them to cross entire basins without losing strength. Each whale species has its own patterns, its own language of tone and rhythm. The blue whale's call is among the deepest, reaching frequencies too low for human ears to easily detect. These sounds vibrate through the water and the very seafloor, resonating like the breath of the planet itself. In contrast, the humpback whale's songs are elaborate and melodic, full of rises and falls, repeating phrases, and subtle improvisations. Over time, these songs evolve, shared and reshaped by different groups across years and oceans. The structure of a whale's song reveals the complexity of its world. Each sequence of notes and moans follows a pattern, a musical grammar shaped by generations of singers. Humpback whales, for example, compose their songs in sections, each with a distinct theme. A moan gives way to a chirp, then to a haunting cry that fades into silence before beginning again. These cycles can last for hours, flowing without urgency, like a tide that never rushes. Deep below, the ocean's layers hold a channel where sound travels with the least resistance, a natural conduit called the deep sound channel. Whales seem to know this instinctively. They send their calls into this layer, allowing their voices to move vast distances. A single note from a blue whale may be heard thousands of kilometers away by another, as if the ocean itself were carrying the conversation through time. To live in such a world is to perceive through vibration. Whales sense the shifting frequencies that fill their surroundings. The pulsing clicks of sperm whales, the patterned knocks of fin whales, the long calls of right whales, all become part of the ocean's invisible architecture of sound. Through it, whales orient themselves, find feeding grounds, and maintain bonds that endure across migrations and seasons. For toothed whales, sound is not only a means of communication, but also of perception. Dolphins and sperm whales use echolocation, releasing bursts of clicks that reflect off objects and return as echoes. These echoes paint a picture of the world in exquisite detail: the contours of a fish, the shape of a rock, the distance of another whale. Each click, each return, becomes part of an ongoing conversation with the environment, where listening is as important as speaking. In the depths, where darkness reigns and light cannot reach, echolocation becomes vision through sound. The clicks quicken, forming a rhythmic pulse that narrows as the whale focuses on a target. The process is precise and effortless, unfolding in harmony with the fluid stillness of the deep. The ocean listens back, and in that exchange, life navigates its hidden paths. Some whale calls are social, meant to maintain contact within a group. Others are solitary, songs that seem to fill the empty sea with presence. A mother and her calf may communicate in gentle, muted tones, sounds softened to avoid the notice of predators. A pod of orcas might exchange sharp whistles and pulsing calls, coordinating movement with a level of understanding that resembles orchestration. Each kind of sound holds meaning within its own context, the pitch, duration, and rhythm changing with emotion and intent. The ocean becomes a living network of voices, always shifting, always awake. Even silence carries weight, marking the pauses between calls, the moments of stillness before another message begins its journey through the water. Vastness of the sea does not separate these voices. Instead, it joins them. Whales that migrate along distant routes may still recognize familiar patterns, echoing through layers of water that connect one ocean to another. Some scientists believe that these vocal patterns may carry cultural significance, learned behaviors passed from one generation to the next. The songs of humpback whales, for instance, can spread across entire ocean populations, evolving slowly as new themes emerge and old ones fade. In this way, the ocean becomes an archive of memory. Each wave carries fragments of sound from countless lives. Some linger just below the surface, while others travel deep into the farthest reaches of the sea. The resonance of a single whale may drift for hours before finally dissolving into the background hum of the world's waters. For whales, listening is a way of knowing. The ocean's soundscape holds the rhythm of tides, the murmurs of shifting currents, and the distant thunder of breaking ice. Whales move through this symphony, attuned to patterns humans rarely perceive. They can sense the call of another whale across unimaginable distances, a reminder of how deeply connected the ocean truly is. Modern research has begun to uncover the extraordinary sensitivity of these creatures. Hydrophones placed deep beneath the waves record their songs, tracing the routes of communication that stretch from one continent to another. Scientists have found that certain calls can cross entire oceans, reaching from the Pacific to the Atlantic, uninterrupted, except by the natural contours of the sea. These recordings capture not just data, but a living testament to the unity of marine life. The slow cadence of a whale's call mirrors the rhythm of the ocean itself. There is patience in its repetition, a steady unfolding that invites stillness. Each note seems to arise not from effort, but from the natural flow of being. In that sound lies the echo of vastness, a calm reminder of the deep balance between creature and world. The history of whale communication spans millennia, long before humans first ventured onto the sea. Their songs may have once echoed through oceans untouched by engines and machinery, where sound moved freely without interference. Today, those same frequencies must navigate through the noise of ships and industrial activity. Yet, even within this changed world, whales continue to sing. Their voices adapt, their patterns shift, and still they find each other across the endless blue. Some calls seem ancient, resonating like memories from an older Earth. Others feel newly formed, part of an ongoing dialogue between generations. Each carries traces of evolution, of adaptation and resilience. In listening to these voices, scientists gain insight not only into communication, but into the deep intelligence that defines whale societies. Whale songs are more than sound. They are expressions of space and emotion, of belonging and distance. They reveal how the ocean is not a place of silence, but of constant conversation. Even in stillness, the sea hums with energy, the pulse of currents, the movement of tides, the faint whisper of whale voices merging with the rhythm of the earth. Imagine the sound of a blue whale's call as it travels through the deep. It begins as a low vibration, almost imperceptible, then expands outward, moving steadily across the water's layers. For minutes or even hours, it continues, uninterrupted, until it reaches another whale far beyond the horizon. Somewhere that call is received, perhaps recognized, perhaps answered. In that moment, two beings are connected by a bridge of sound spanning thousands of kilometers, suspended in the stillness of the sea. The continuity of this connection defines whale life. Migrations follow familiar acoustic paths, guiding whales through vast distances. Sound reflects from mountain-like ridges beneath the waves, from the slopes of continental shelves, and from the bodies of icebergs drifting through polar seas. The ocean's geography becomes a part of their language, shaping the journey of each call. Through the repetition of song, whales mark the passing of seasons. The same melodies may return year after year, subtly changed, but always recognizable. These songs become part of the rhythm of time, the heartbeat of the sea, slow and steady. Listening to them reveals a world that moves without haste, where every sound carries both meaning and stillness. In this quiet, the ocean breathes. Whales rise and descend, their movements in harmony with the slow pulse of the earth. Their voices ripple outward, fading and returning like tides. Each note dissolves softly into the water, joining the countless echoes that shape the living silence of the deep. As the last vibrations of a song drift into distance, the sea remains calm. The sound may have crossed an entire ocean, yet it leaves behind no mark but the memory of connection. Beneath the waves, the world continues in gentle motion, vast, steady, and full of quiet voices that speak in tones older than time itself. In the wide stillness of the desert, life survives by listening closely to the rhythm of heat and silence. The air moves slowly, shimmering in the sunlight. Every shadow stretches long and thin across the sand. In this quiet world, water is the most precious thread, hidden deep within the earth and the bodies of plants that have learned, over endless time, how to hold on to it. Among the stones and dunes, each plant becomes a vessel for survival. Their shapes, colors, and even their ways of breathing have changed to meet the demands of the sun. The desert's lessons are written in their skin and stems. What may seem still or lifeless from a distance is, in truth, a steady, silent miracle of endurance. The story begins beneath the surface. Desert soils are often dry and coarse, unable to hold much moisture. When rain does fall, it vanishes quickly, either sinking deep into the ground or rising again as vapor in the sun's heat. For most life, this would be a challenge too great to overcome. Yet desert plants have turned it into an opportunity. Their roots reach far, spreading wide or diving deep to follow even the faintest trace of water. Some plants send their roots downward, sometimes more than 10 meters, in search of hidden groundwater. The mesquite tree, with its delicate leaves and pale bark, can reach water that lies far beyond the reach of the heat. Others, like the agave or the creosote bush, grow roots that spread outward near the surface, ready to capture every drop from a rare rainfall before it disappears. Once water is found, the next challenge is keeping it. The desert sun pulls moisture from everything it touches. To survive, plants must become reservoirs. Many have thickened their stems or leaves into storage organs. The cactus family, with its tall columns and rounded shapes, holds vast amounts of water within spongy tissue. Beneath their waxy skins, networks of cells swell after rain, then slowly release their store through the long, dry months. The surface of these plants is their armor. A smooth, waxy coating prevents too much evaporation. Tiny hairs scatter sunlight and break the wind. Even the color of the skin may be pale to reflect heat away. Every feature works together to preserve the balance between life and loss. The desert offers no excess. Everything is measured, efficient, and calm. In some plants, leaves have vanished entirely, leaving behind only small spines or scales. The cactus no longer wastes water through broad leaves, instead carrying out photosynthesis within its stem. The spines protect it from hungry animals, but they also cast delicate shadows that cool the surface. The result is a quiet equilibrium between protection and restraint, a body designed to hold life gently within. Inside these plants, water does not flow freely. It is stored carefully, mixed with mucilage and other substances that help retain moisture. The tissues remain soft and pliable, even in heat that would turn most leaves brittle. This inner reservoir can sustain the plant for months, even years, through the unbroken silence of the dry season. Some desert dwellers have taken a different path. The resurrection plants, such as Selaginella, allow themselves to dry completely, curling into tight balls that appear lifeless. When rain returns, they unfurl within hours, turning green once more. Their cells can withstand the loss of nearly all moisture, then recover without harm. It is a slower, gentler rhythm of life, pausing in stillness and returning when the desert allows. Timing is everything in the desert. Many plants grow or bloom only when conditions are right, sleeping through drought and waking after rain. Seeds may wait for years beneath the sand until a storm arrives. In this way, life continues in cycles of patience. The desert does not rush, it remembers. In the twilight hours, when the air cools and the stars appear, another form of water conservation unfolds. Some plants open tiny pores on their surfaces only at night, taking in carbon dioxide while temperatures are low and humidity higher. During the day, these pores remain closed, reducing water loss. This special form of photosynthesis, known as CAM metabolism, allows plants such as cacti and succulents to breathe with care, saving every possible drop. The rhythm of day and night becomes part of the plant's design. Every pulse of light and darkness guides its balance between growth and rest. It is an ancient choreography tuned to the desert's steady breath. Through it, each plant maintains harmony with the land that holds it. Others adapt through form and texture. The leaves of the agave are thick and pointed, shaped like spears that gather rain toward the base. Their surfaces are coated in a fine wax, and their edges bear small teeth that guide water inward. Inside, fibers and gels hold the captured moisture, releasing it slowly over time. When the agave finally blooms, sending up a tall stalk of flowers, it does so only once in its life. All its stored energy and water are given to that final act of creation. In the desert's rare oases, palms and grasses rely on a different strategy. They grow in clusters, shading one another and reducing the heat that would otherwise steal their moisture. Beneath the soil, their roots weave together, holding what water they can. In these shaded pockets, the air feels gentler, the light softened by green. Even here, every drop is treasured. Some plants use their very architecture to capture water from the air. In coastal deserts, where fog drifts in from the ocean, species like the fog-basking beetle plant or certain succulents collect condensation on their surfaces. Tiny structures on leaves or stems guide the droplets downward, channeling them toward the roots. It is a delicate form of harvesting, born from the meeting of air and patience. Even the patterns of growth play a role in conserving water. Many desert plants grow in spiral or rosette forms, with leaves overlapping to shade the inner core. The arrangement helps reduce direct exposure to the sun and minimizes the loss of precious moisture. Nature's geometry becomes a language of preservation, elegant and quiet. When rain does fall, the transformation is almost imperceptible at first. The dry earth softens, the air grows heavy with the scent of dust and new life. The plants absorb the water eagerly, swelling, turning greener, opening their pores. For a short time, the desert blooms. Flowers appear suddenly, their colors soft yet vivid against the pale sand. Then, as the heat returns, the landscape fades again into silence, leaving behind seeds, roots, and the memory of abundance. This constant balance between scarcity and renewal has shaped every part of desert life. Even in stillness, there is motion, water moving within tissues, air passing through tiny pores, roots reaching deeper each season. The desert does not waste, does not hurry. Its beauty lies in what endures quietly. The human eye may see harshness here, but to the plants, this is home. Their ways of holding water are also ways of holding time. Each adaptation is a memory of rain, written in form and function. Some store water to last through years of drought. Others rest in dormancy, waiting for the next soft return of moisture. Every cell tells the story of patience. The saguaro cactus, standing tall against the horizon, carries thousands of liters of water within its ribs. After a storm, its body expands, the pleats stretching like an accordion to accommodate the gift. As the months pass, it contracts again, slowly, silently, returning to its smaller shape. This rhythm of swelling and shrinking follows the seasons like a gentle breath. In smaller succulents, water storage happens in leaves that seem to glow from within. Their translucent tissues allow sunlight to filter softly through, enough for photosynthesis, but not enough to overheat. The light scatters gently inside, and the leaf remains cool. Within that coolness, water waits. Some desert shrubs protect their moisture not by storing it, but by guarding it carefully. Their small, narrow leaves reduce exposure to the sun. Some produce oils that make their surfaces reflective or resistant to evaporation. Others drop their leaves entirely during the driest months, entering a quiet rest until the air becomes kinder again. In this way, energy and water are never wasted. The dance between plant and environment continues endlessly. Each dawn brings heat, each dusk a measure of relief. Through it all, the desert plants endure, neither hurried nor still, simply existing within the flow of their own design. Their survival is not a fight but a harmony, a blending of shape, rhythm, and restraint. As the stars gather above the quiet land, the desert seems empty, but it is not. Beneath the sand, roots sleep in the cool darkness. Within stems and leaves, water rests in silence. The air carries a faint trace of life, a whisper of breath from every plant that waits for dawn. The landscape, though still, is alive with presence. The lesson of the desert is one of patience and balance. It shows that abundance can live within limitation, that beauty can thrive in simplicity. Water, though scarce, becomes sacred. Each drop that falls is honored, each moment of growth sustained by countless hidden adaptations. In the calm night air, the desert holds its secrets. The cacti stand like sentinels, their shadows long and gentle. The agave leaves glimmer faintly under the moon. Somewhere far away, a breeze stirs the sand, tracing soft patterns across the ground. Everything moves slowly, easily, as if the world has settled into peace. And within that peace, the desert plants continue their quiet work, conserving, holding, breathing in time with the land. The stillness is not emptiness, but fulfillment. Every stem, every root, every drop of stored water is a testament to life's quiet wisdom. In the end, the desert rests as it always has, vast and serene. The plants remain, each one shaped by the endless dialogue between dryness and rain. Their calm endurance fills the silence with meaning. The sun will rise again, the heat will return, and they will go on, steady and sure, holding the memory of water deep within. Across the quiet rhythms of the natural world, there are patterns that unfold far beyond human perception. Beneath the sky, over oceans and continents, life has found ways to move with astonishing grace and precision. Among the most mysterious of these movements is the long, unerring navigation of birds and sea turtles, creatures who find their way across thousands of miles, guided not by sight or memory alone, but by the invisible touch of Earth's magnetic field. The planet itself hums with a subtle, steady force. It flows from pole to pole, unseen and untouchable, yet powerful enough to shape the journeys of countless living beings. Within the molten iron of the Earth's core, the slow swirling of metal creates a magnetic field that stretches far into space, enveloping the planet in protective lines of energy. These lines form a map that living creatures have learned to read, not with eyes, but with senses still only partly understood. Each year, as the seasons turn, migratory birds begin their long flights. Some travel from the far northern tundra to to the warm grasslands of the southern hemisphere, tracing paths that have been followed for millennia. High above oceans and mountain ranges, they drift with effortless rhythm, their wings cutting through cool air. To an observer, their motion might seem guided by instinct alone, but within them lies a sensitivity to Earth's magnetic pulse, a quiet compass that points the way. In the soft light of early dawn, a flock of songbirds might lift from a forest clearing, moving as one through layers of mist. They do not see the magnetic field in the air around them. Yet in their brains, tiny magnetic particles, minute crystals of iron, may vibrate in response to the field's direction. Signals from these crystals could whisper information to their nervous system, aligning their internal sense of direction with the lines that curve invisibly across the globe. Other birds may sense the magnetic field through light itself. In the retinas of some species, special molecules respond to the magnetic orientation of photons, allowing the bird to perceive faint visual patterns tied to the Earth's magnetism. The field may appear to them as a gentle gradient of color or shadow overlaying the world, a subtle guide always present, even in the vast emptiness of the sky. Far below, in the rolling depths of the ocean, another traveler begins its journey. A young sea turtle, newly hatched on a moonlit beach, moves instinctively toward the water. From the moment it feels the pull of the tides, it begins a voyage that will span entire oceans. Some species of sea turtles, such as the loggerhead, swim thousands of miles through open water, crossing currents and gyres that circle the globe. Decades later, they will return to the same stretch of coastline where they began, guided home by signals imprinted during their first encounter with the sea. For a long time, the question of how such creatures could navigate so precisely remained a quiet wonder. Observers watched the patterns, birds returning to their nesting sites each year, turtles reappearing at familiar shores, and sensed a kind of magic in their constancy. Over time, science began to reveal that this magic was, in part, a dialogue between life and the magnetic Earth. Experiments have shown that sea turtles can detect both the direction and the strength of the magnetic field. Each location on Earth has its own magnetic signature, defined by the field's angle and intensity. In a way, the planet offers a set of coordinates written in magnetism, and the turtle can read them like a map. When young turtles are exposed to magnetic conditions that match distant regions of the ocean, they instinctively orient as if preparing to swim toward or away from those regions, revealing that they hold a mental chart shaped by the field itself. Birds, too, appear to combine several layers of magnetic information. Their compass sense allows them to distinguish north from south, but they also seem able to interpret subtle differences in field strength to estimate where they are along their migratory routes. This magnetic sense works in concert with other cues: the position of the stars, the pattern of polarized light at sunrise and sunset, even the scent of the air. Yet the magnetic field provides a stable anchor, a constant presence when other signals fade. Imagine a storm sweeping over the ocean at night. Clouds hide the stars, and the waves erase all visible landmarks. A bird caught in such darkness continues to move calmly, its wings adjusting to unseen currents. In its mind, there is still a direction, still an understanding of where the poles lie. The magnetic field flows through the air as a silent companion, guiding the bird onward through the long, sleepless hours. In the world beneath the waves, sea turtles move through similar challenges. The ocean offers few fixed points, no mountains or forests to remember, only shifting waters and the slow pulse of the currents. Yet within this vast openness, each turtle maintains its sense of place. Laboratory studies have shown that when magnetic fields are artificially altered, turtles adjust their swimming direction accordingly, as if responding to an unseen compass needle inside them. Their navigation is quiet, continuous, and astonishingly precise. The way animals detect magnetic fields remains one of the gentlest puzzles in biology. It may involve tiny magnetite crystals within their tissues, aligning like miniature compass needles. It may also depend on quantum reactions inside light-sensitive molecules, where electrons shift and spin in ways affected by magnetism. In the stillness of a bird's eye or a turtle's brain, these minute events add up to a grand sense of direction, one that connects the individual to the planet itself. The concept is humbling. Across continents and seas, creatures move not just through space, but through fields of invisible order. They are tuned, in every sense, to the quiet geometry of the Earth. Each migration becomes both a physical and an elemental journey, a motion through the fabric of the planet's energy. As the magnetic field flows outward, it shields life from the charged winds of the sun. This same shield that protects the Earth from cosmic radiation also becomes a language, spoken in frequencies far below sound. The birds and turtles who listen to this language carry within them the knowledge of their ancestors, refined across generations of migration. Evolution has shaped them to sense what humans cannot, a connection that bridges sky, sea, and the molten heart of the planet. Consider the Arctic tern, whose migrations trace from pole to pole each year, moving through every season of light and shadow. Its path spans the globe, and yet it returns faithfully, guided in part by the same magnetic field that swirls deep within Earth's core. Or the green sea turtle, whose slow journey carries it across entire oceans, returning decades later to the same shore, its internal compass unbroken by time. Their travels are not hurried, not restless. They follow the natural rhythm of the world, moving when the moment is right, resting when the tides and winds invite pause. In these migrations lies a profound stillness. Though the distances are immense, each movement follows a pattern as old as the Earth itself. The turning of the core, the drift of the continents, the wandering of the magnetic poles, all unfold on vast, silent timescales, and the creatures that navigate by them move as if in gentle synchrony with those ancient rhythms. Over millions of years, the Earth's magnetic poles have shifted and wandered. Sometimes they even reverse, trading north for south. During such slow transformations, the animals of the world have adapted, sensing new alignments, continuing their migrations with quiet resilience. The field changes, but the language remains. Nature listens and life adjusts, never rushing, never lost. In the quiet expanse of night, when the stars shimmer faintly above the ocean, a sea turtle glides beneath the surface. The water is dark, the currents gentle. Around it, the magnetic field threads invisibly through the sea, marking the path home. Far above, a bird flies under the same field, feeling its direction through the faintest cues. Both move within the same invisible map, connected by the planet's pulse. This shared sensitivity reminds that navigation is not only a matter of movement, but of relationship. The birds and turtles are not separate from the forces that guide them. They are part of those forces, expressions of the Earth's ongoing rhythm. Their ability to follow the magnetic field speaks to a harmony between biology and geology, between living beings and the planet that sustains them. In a world that often seems defined by noise and motion, there is comfort in imagining these quiet travelers. Each journey unfolds with patience, guided not by urgency but by alignment. The field that surrounds them does not command, it simply exists, constant and steady, offering direction without demand. The creatures that follow it do so naturally, as if the pulse of the planet were a familiar song. As time drifts forward, scientists continue to study these phenomena with wonder. The precise mechanisms remain delicate mysteries, explored through careful observation and gentle inference. The search itself is calm work, built on curiosity rather than conquest. To learn how birds and turtles read the magnetic Earth is to glimpse a subtle unity, the connection between living motion and the deep forces of the world. In the hush of early morning, when mist rises over the ocean and the air feels still, it is possible to imagine the quiet migrations continuing just beyond sight. Far out at sea, wings and flippers move in steady rhythm. The same magnetic lines that weave through the planet's core thread through air and water alike, touching every point on Earth. In their presence, life moves with purpose, softly, surely, and without haste. The magnetic field does not speak, yet its message is everywhere. It shapes the silent dance of migration, the return of life across distance and time. Within this quiet force lies an ancient continuity, a reminder that the living world and the planet itself share one unfolding motion, one enduring calm. And as the currents of air and water flow on, the invisible field continues its gentle work, holding the memory of countless journeys. Birds glide through the evening sky, and turtles drift through the luminous depths, each carried not only by instinct, but by the steady, unseen hand of the earth. The world turns, the field hums, and the travelers move within it, endlessly, peacefully, and without end. The oxygen cycle between forests and oceans. In the quiet rhythm of the planet, oxygen drifts unseen, a gentle breath shared between the green of the forests and the blue of the oceans. It moves in silence, shaping every life that rises and falls beneath the sky. The air that fills lungs and feeds flames has passed through leaves, waves, and clouds in a slow dance that began long before memory and will continue long after. The story of oxygen is not a story of haste. It is a story of stillness and balance. In the quiet web of life that connects every living being, there is an invisible world humming softly beneath the surface. It is a realm of tiny architects and caretakers of bacteria, working patiently, unseen, to help plants and animals flourish. Their existence is gentle, ancient, and essential. Within soil, roots, oceans, and bodies, these minute partners sustain the balance of life with quiet precision. Every handful of soil holds more bacterial cells than there are people on the planet. Each one carries out simple, rhythmic tasks that together shape the living earth. The soil breathes with their presence. Nutrients drift and flow as they transform minerals, release gases, and form delicate partnerships with roots and fungi. The air above and the green leaves stretching toward light all depend on these silent companions below. In the deep stillness of the ground, bacteria surround the roots of plants. This close connection, called the rhizosphere, is like a soft, glowing halo of microscopic life. Within it, bacteria trade nourishment for energy. The plant releases gentle pulses of sugars and organic compounds into the soil, and in return, the bacteria convert hard minerals into forms the plant can easily take in. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and iron, elements locked within the earth, become fluid and alive again through this exchange. Among these root dwellers are nitrogen-fixing bacteria, masters of transformation. Floating freely in the soil or living within the roots of legumes, they capture nitrogen from the air and weave it into molecules that feed new growth. This act sustains fields of grass, forests of trees, and the quiet evolution of life itself. Without them, plants would hunger for nourishment that the air holds but cannot give alone. Their gift is unseen, continuous, and profoundly generous. Other bacteria, known as mycorrhizal helpers, work alongside fungal threads that spread like fine lace through the soil. Together, they create a network that connects one root to another, allowing plants to share water and nutrients. A forest becomes a single breathing organism, its communication carried through this microbial web. Trees on distant slopes may nourish seedlings in shaded valleys through these connections, passing on strength and stability in a cycle of patient generosity. Bacteria also guard plants from harm. Some form protective barriers along roots, quietly producing substances that keep harmful microbes away. Others signal to the plant, guiding it to prepare gentle defenses. This communication happens without sound or movement, only through the steady whisper of molecules that drift between cells. In these silent exchanges, plants and bacteria learn each other's rhythms, growing not in competition, but in harmony. Beyond the soil, bacteria drift in rivers and seas, where they nurture vast chains of life. In the ocean's surface waters, they accompany tiny algae, the phytoplankton that shimmer like dust in sunlight. Together they recycle carbon, oxygen, and nutrients, sustaining creatures from the smallest zooplankton to the largest whales. The water's calm balance depends on their steady cycles of transformation. Even the color of the sea, the play of light beneath the waves, carries traces of their invisible labor. Within animals, bacteria find new homes and purposes. In the warm folds of digestive systems, they become companions in nourishment. The gut of an animal is not only a passageway for food, but an entire landscape of microbial life. Millions of bacterial species coexist there, breaking down fibers, creating vitamins, and shaping the health of their host. The relationship is intricate and ancient, one that has shaped evolution for hundreds of millions of years. In herbivores, bacteria help unlock the energy stored in plants. Within the stomachs of cows, deer, and other grazers, they ferment grass and leaves, releasing simple sugars and gases. The process unfolds slowly, without haste, mirroring the gentle rhythm of chewing and rest. This partnership allows large animals to thrive on simple food, converting sunlight captured by plants into motion, warmth, and growth. In humans and other animals, gut bacteria also play quieter roles. They train the immune system, guide development, and produce subtle chemicals that influence mood and well-being. Each meal is a shared ritual. The host provides a home and nourishment, while the bacteria transform what enters into forms the body can use. Even as life changes with age, the microbial community shifts gracefully, adapting and continuing its unseen service. Beyond the gut, bacteria protect skin and lungs, occupy the spaces that might otherwise welcome invaders, and maintain balance in ways that can barely be measured. Every breath brings a mixture of air and microbes, and every surface is touched by their presence. They are not intruders, but companions, part of a vast and delicate harmony that connects all living things. Inside coral reefs, bacterial partnerships shape some of the most beautiful ecosystems on Earth. Corals, which are colonies of tiny animals, rely on bacteria and algae that live within their tissues. The bacteria recycle nutrients and guard against disease, while the algae capture sunlight to feed the coral. The reef grows slowly, layer upon layer, its structure built through countless cooperative exchanges. Even in the darkest ocean depths, bacterial life continues to illuminate the world through quiet symbiosis. In insects, bacteria live in special organs and cells, performing tasks that their hosts cannot. Aphids, for example, depend on bacteria that supply essential amino acids missing from their diet of plant sap. Termites harbor bacteria that help digest tough wood fibers, allowing them to live in harmony with forests rather than destroy them. These miniature alliances demonstrate that even the smallest creatures rely on cooperation rather than conflict to survive. In every environment, frozen tundra, desert sands, deep ocean trenches, bacteria create connections that sustain others. They recycle waste into nourishment, turn decay into renewal, and ensure that life continues in cycles of transformation. Each one plays a minute role, yet together they shape the Earth's living balance more completely than any visible creature could. The story of bacteria is not one of dominance or conquest, but of quiet persistence. They thrive by working together, by finding places where their strengths complement the needs of others. Evolution has favored those who collaborate, who share, who build steady bonds. The world's green abundance, the richness of its creatures, and even the oxygen in the air are products of this continuous partnership. Long before plants or animals appeared, bacteria were already forming networks of cooperation. In ancient seas, they joined forces to create stromatolites, layered communities that changed the planet's chemistry and filled the atmosphere with oxygen. From that time onward, every new form of life grew within the conditions they created. Even now, every cell in every organism carries echoes of those first microbial ancestors. This ancient lineage lives on not just in partnership, but within the very makeup of complex life. The mitochondria that power animal cells and the chloroplasts that allow plants to capture sunlight both trace their origins to free-living bacteria that joined larger cells long ago. What began as a fragile connection became inseparable, giving rise to all multicellular life. Every heartbeat, every leaf unfolding in spring, is an expression of that enduring union. Symbiosis at its heart is a balance, not a perfect stillness, but a continual exchange. In each moment, bacteria and their partners adjust to one another, shifting nutrients, signals, and energy. This slow, harmonious movement underlies the vitality of forests, oceans, and bodies alike. It is the quiet pulse of the planet, steady and ancient, guiding the unfolding of life with calm precision. In the roots of a tree, in the